Do you have diabetes? Even if you don't, you probably know someone who does. It might be a family member or a friend. You probably know some of the harmful ways this disease affects the body. Maybe you've wondered, how can I feel whole with such a diagnosis? Maybe you'd like to learn some ways to prevent getting diabetes so you can lead a more happy and healthy life. Well, regardless of where you're at, you can experience restored wholeness to your life, and there are ways to prevent the disease in the future. So, what exactly is diabetes? Well, diabetes is the name for a group of diseases in which blood sugar levels are too high. Underlying problems may include having too much insulin, trying to overcome insulin resistance in the muscles and liver, or having too little insulin because of damage to or stress on the cells that make insulin in the pancreas. Almost 10% of the United States population has diabetes, and there are almost 1.5 million new cases diagnosed each year. With so many impacted by the disease, the costs to treat diabetes can really add up. In 2017, the treatment costs in the U.S. totaled $327 billion, $90 billion in reduced productivity alone, and $237 billion in direct medical costs. You may not have diabetes yet, but you should be aware of the warning signs that you're heading in that direction. If your blood sugar or glucose is higher than it should be, but not in the diabetic range, then you likely have pre-diabetes. Several of the signs of having too much insulin include a higher than normal blood pressure, an increase in abdominal weight, and poor cholesterol numbers. Research suggests that 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, and of this group, 9 out of 10 don't know they have it. When it's not addressed appropriately, pre-diabetes often leads to type 2 diabetes within a few years. There are several types of diabetes: type 1, type 2, and gestational. Type 2 diabetes is the most common form of the disease. It's helpful to know what type you have because each type may need to be managed differently to reduce the risk of long-term complications. But despite their differences, you can manage your diabetes by making positive lifestyle choices. Type 1 diabetes is commonly caused when the immune system mistakenly destroys the insulin-producing cells or even inactivates insulin itself. This causes the body to produce little to no insulin. Type 1 diabetes is sometimes called juvenile diabetes because it commonly develops quickly in children and teenagers, but it can also occur more slowly as latent diabetes of adulthood, or LADA for short. Gestational diabetes is caused by insulin-blocking hormones produced during pregnancy that increase insulin resistance. It's commonly identified around the 24th week. A diagnosis of gestational diabetes doesn't mean that you had diabetes before you conceived. It also doesn't mean that you will have diabetes after giving birth, but it does mean that you're more likely to get type 2 diabetes in the future. Be sure to follow the doctor's guidelines of monitoring your glucose levels to avoid causing harm to your baby. Poor glucose control increases the risk for labor complications and makes it more likely the child will develop diabetes later in life. Type 2 diabetes is caused when a majority of your body's cells don't need as much energy as the amount being consumed. This causes them to develop an insulin resistance, and this commonly results in stimulating your pancreas to produce more insulin. This extra insulin is likely responsible for increasing weight, worsening cholesterol numbers, and has something to do with raising blood pressure too. But when your pancreas can no longer keep up with the demand, the amount of insulin produced can't manage your sugar intake, which leads to higher blood glucose. Over time, high blood glucose damages the small blood vessels, and the higher insulin is associated with damage to the large blood vessels. Together, these cause damage to the organs that those blood vessels supply, leading to a variety of other health challenges. How can you tell if you may have type 2 diabetes? Well, your symptoms may include blurred vision, frequent urination, weakness, drowsiness, and excessive thirst. These symptoms occur because of chemical imbalances in the blood due to high levels of blood glucose. But often, by the time you experience these symptoms, your body has already been significantly affected by diabetes. No matter what type of diabetes you may have, your body will require extra care and your life will change. You may experience problems that others don't understand, and living with these complications can be challenging, But don't be discouraged. It is still possible to return to a healthier life and to feel whole even with the diagnosis of diabetes. And by recognizing the power of positive choices, you can begin to take the small steps to improving your life. Your journey to feeling whole begins with the 8 principles of creation health. This lifestyle works naturally with your body to improve your health, reduce your risk of additional complications, and help you discover more enjoyment in your life. Whatever your current circumstances, you can feel better, and the Creation Health Principles will give you the tools you need to do it. You'll start by learning to care for all of you, mind, body, and spirit. This is the key to experiencing greater well-being and living a more fulfilling life. And there's no better time to get started on your journey than right now. Let's start by talking about 8 practical ways to guide you on your path to feeling more whole. Monitor your numbers, evaluate and develop restful habits, clear the air, break it up, talk to God, involve your loved ones, be kind to yourself, and eat healthy. Choice is the first principle of Creation Health. All the other principles flow from your decision to take a course of action that will help you manage diabetes and improve your health. So start by learning all you can about diabetes so that you can make better choices later on. As you continue to make positive choices, it'll become easier to make your next choice the best one. Cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and the A1C, those are all important health indicators. The A1C is a blood test that looks at a person's average blood glucose levels over 3 months. This lets you know if your average blood sugar is high or just right. And while monitoring your A1C is important, especially if you have symptoms of prediabetes or a family history of the disease, doing what it takes to keep that A1C on target can save you from a world of trouble in the future. It is estimated that each point the A1C goes up above 7%, it doubles your risk of a heart event. So keeping it down should be a priority. Rest is more than getting a good night's sleep. It's a powerful form of medicine and the best way to activate your body's natural healing ability. While you sleep, your body is hard at work, regulating blood sugar levels, repairing body cells, and fighting the stress hormone cortisol. Unfortunately, diabetes complications can often disrupt this healing sleep, making it more difficult to manage your condition. Sleep is just as important for your health as diet and exercise. So take the time to evaluate your sleep habits. Creating a regular bedtime routine promotes optimal rest, and maintaining your glycemic control will help you do that. When the blood sugars in the body are not in control, it often leads to insomnia, which can raise blood sugar and insulin resistance even further. If you still struggle with getting regular sleep, try training your body by going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on the weekends. Turn off all screens and take 20 minutes to relax by dimming the lights, listening to soothing music, or reading a book before going to bed. For most of us, living in a quiet, uncluttered home is simply not a reality. We contend with piles of laundry, dirty dishes, and smartphones that are constantly demanding our attention. But did you know, if you can make time to spend some of your day in a relaxing, pleasant environment, you can improve your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar numbers. One of the places you should head is outdoors. Getting into nature and away from high traffic areas has proven health benefits. Studies show that air pollution negatively affects glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity. As a result, people who live in areas with poor air quality will do better if they can avoid heavy traffic when possible and do outdoor exercise in areas with better air quality. Don't forget that the air inside your house needs cleaning too. And thankfully, there's a great natural solution in houseplants. Plants and humans are natural partners, especially since plants absorb the carbon dioxide we exhale and release oxygen for us. But plants purify the air in other amazing ways, taking in harmful chemicals such as formaldehyde, which is found in many cleaning products. Bring some air purifying plants into your home or work environment to help clean the air around you. Some great options are peace lilies, English ivy, dracaenas, spider plants, gerbera daisies, and mums. Activity is another way for diabetes patients to get even more incredible health benefits. An active lifestyle lowers blood sugar naturally, without the need for extra insulin. It also helps burn calories and fat, improves blood flow and blood pressure, increases your energy, improves your sleep, and enhances your ability to handle stress. By staying committed to an exercise routine that promotes weight loss, you can reduce your symptoms and improve your blood sugar control. Exercise that is part of a healthy weight loss program can help reverse some of the underlying problems of type 2 diabetes, like insulin resistance in the liver and muscle tissue. Don't know where to begin? Start by setting some simple and easily attainable exercise goals, and then increase them as you get stronger. Large goals can be overwhelming, so break your goals up into smaller, attainable steps. For example, maybe it's hard to fit in a 30-minute walk first thing in the morning, but you could manage a brisk 10-minute walk 3 times a day. So which do you think is better? Well, it turns out they're equal when it comes to controlling your blood sugar levels. You'll still experience all the health benefits, and you'll break up long periods of sitting and inactivity. You can even lower after-meal blood sugar levels and increase your insulin sensitivity. When your health and way of life are compromised by diabetes, you may wrestle with uncertainty and some hard questions. How will my diagnosis affect my loved ones? Is there a way I could have prevented this? Will my life ever go back to the way it was before? If you're asking yourself these questions, rest assured that God has not forgotten you. You are never alone in your struggles. He can guide you on the path to restoration and help you continue to make the best choices. While managing diabetes can feel overwhelming, frequent prayer can improve how you feel and decrease your mental distress. Try telling God how you feel and ask for help as you take care of yourself. Do you have trouble finding the motivation to exercise? Ask Him to help you get up and get out the door. Or if sticking to your diet proves challenging, ask Him to help you there as well. And then tell Him thank you for all the ways He has helped you already. Keeping a journal of your prayers will help you see how God has answered in the past and how He can be trusted to help you again in the future. Take a moment to think about the people you care about and who care about you. How have they been there for you? You can probably agree that we feel better and stronger when we have others by our side. Even research proves this is true. People with healthy social networks live longer, experience fewer illnesses, and adhere to self-care guidelines better than those who don't. Family members are the most important part of your care team, because not only do they provide practical help like exercising with you and reminding you about meals and medication, but they can also help you cope with the stress of living with diabetes. In fact, diabetes has been referred to as a family disease because it affects everyone. Often an entire family will adopt a diabetes-friendly diet because it's too difficult and expensive to prepare different meals for everyone. Finances are also an issue, as they often become stretched by the extra and often excessive costs of intensive medical care. Adopt a teamwork mentality and allow family members to share input on important decisions. This helps everyone see that they're all on the same team. Diabetes makes it challenging to keep a positive outlook on life. You may feel overwhelmed trying to manage your diet, exercise, medication, and blood sugar monitoring. All of that can result in chronic stress, which raises your blood pressure, increases insulin resistance, weakens the immune system, and contributes to depression. That can also lead to the temptation to self-medicate with alcohol, food, tobacco, or other things that can be harmful and hurt your blood sugar levels. Be kind to yourself and do your best to keep a positive outlook. Fight hopeless feelings by speaking positive thoughts to yourself. For example, instead of saying, "I failed because I didn't exercise every day last week," focus on the positive truth, such as, "I took 3 walks last week and some exercise is better than nothing." Experience these feelings for what they are, a normal response to the stress of diabetes management, and then let them go. The same goes for the occasional setback. Don't beat yourself up for getting off your diet or missing a workout. Just get back on track and remind yourself how far you've come. This probably comes as no surprise to you, but the thing that most directly affects your blood sugar level is the food you eat. Nobody wants to give up the foods they love, and fortunately, eating to manage your diabetes doesn't mean you can never have a treat. You just might need to adjust your perspective first. Think of food less as a treat and more as a medicine. You may think you eat what you like, but science tells us that we actually like what we eat. And that is good news. As you choose healthier foods, your taste buds and your body will learn to appreciate them more and more. By adjusting your eating, you can maximize the natural health benefits found in so many plant-based foods, including many that you likely enjoy already and others that you will learn to love. We know it's important to choose healthy foods, but managing diabetes requires some extra awareness, including the knowledge of a food's glycemic index, or GI. The GI measures how a carbohydrate-containing food raises your blood glucose. By choosing more minimally processed plant-based foods with a low GI, you will help control your blood glucose level. Unrefined foods high in dietary fiber are a true powerhouse for those with diabetes. These types of foods include raw fruits and vegetables, beans, whole grain breads and cereals, nuts, and seeds, all of which slow down the absorption of the sugars in food and in turn decrease your body's demand for insulin. Plant-based foods also fill you up and satisfy your hunger without adding excess calories, so you can maintain a healthy weight. If you're new to eating healthy, start by trying a new fruit, vegetable, or grain at least once a week. Start collecting fresh recipe ideas from people in your support circle, or search online for healthy ready-made meal plans. You may even be surprised at how tasty some of these recipes are. So remember, diabetes may be your diagnosis, but it doesn't have to define you. You can live a whole, healthy life by following the creation health principles. Discover God's wholeness for your mind, body, and spirit. Now that's a healthy prescription to last a lifetime.